inspired, right? Listing presentation. And then behind those scripts, what's up, Larry? I have all of the different objection handlers that you can get from a for sale by owner. And then behind that, I have a list of questions that I could pose to a for sale by owner, because I'm sure you guys would agree that you can break through a lot of these sellers if you're asking the right questions, and not more assumptive questions like, hey, I want to know a little bit more about this. Tell me about this. We don't want any yes and no's. We want to be able to break through and get what we're looking for from the seller, so we can use that ammunition to get the appointment and also get the listing paperwork signed. Guys, it's 8:29. We'll be starting in 1 minute. Let's see here. I'm going to drop something in the chat. If you guys did not have a chance to pull up the scenario that we're covering. Nope, that's not the right link. Hold on a second. I need to go back over to my Google Drive. What I want you guys to do is click on this link. This link will give you access to the scenario that we're going to be focusing on today. I hope it works over on Instagram. I hope you guys are able to click that link. If you're not, you can hear the conversations that we're having, so you'll be okay. Hopefully you'll be able to download that just for you. Let me admit everybody in here. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. What is up? Let me turn Instagram around. All right, here we go. Mr. Miller, Sylvia's on here. What's up, Sylvia? It's good to see you. Manny's on here. Manny Fresh, what's going on, sir? Man, I saw this picture you posted, like you and your crew in another country somewhere, I think, with the helicopter. It said iconic. Man, that was really iconic, man. I loved everything about that picture, man. You need to print that out and have it framed. All right. So just for some record keeping, if you guys are new to this call and you don't know how to do things, first of all, I'm David Radney, D-Rad, thank you so much for being here. The whole purpose of Friday Script Practice is to help you level up. We need to get on the phones. We need to be able to create opportunities. I think everyone would agree that it's a lot harder getting folks on the phone right now. So if you get them on the phone, you want to give yourself an opportunity to actually get the appointment. If you get on the actual appointment, you want to give yourself the best opportunity to get the listing. So what I will tell you is that here in the Zoom, and my assistant Kimberly's on here, we require two things from you. Number one, camera has to be on. Number two, you have to be willing to participate. And I completely understand for those of you who are new and you're thinking, hey, I'm not quite ready to unmute and to participate. I have my David Radney push Instagram live streaming. You can always leave this meeting and go directly into my Instagram and watch it there. However, before you leave, I want to encourage you to think about this. Think about a baby that's learning how to walk. They stand up and fall down and stand up and fall down and stand up and fall down, right? Until they get it. And here it's a safe space when they're at home doing that. They got their parents encouraging them, siblings encouraging them. It's a safe space. However, this is real life right now. This is how you make your income. This is how you make your money. And I want you guys to feel comfortable practicing here. It's a safe space. There are a lot of words that you hear in real estate. Don't practice on your paycheck. That means don't get in front of a seller and it be the first time you're going through your listing presentation or practicing overcoming objections. That's what we're here for. So even if you're a little nervous and you're like, I don't know if I want to turn my camera on, come on. You hungry or what? Like this is what we need to do. I got my man Bellis in here. What do I owe to honor, my dude? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Wow. All right. So here's what I will say. Cameras on. If I don't have cameras on, Kimberly, you have permission. Kimberly's my Sandman. If you guys watch Saturday Night Live, she's gonna pull you off if you don't have your cameras on. We'll give you 5 minutes. And with that being said, I'm ready to get into it. Guys, we had a listing presentation scenario that I put out on Instagram. I also sent out in a weekly email. If you guys didn't get that scenario, what we're going to be covering today, I'm going to throw, put that in the chat. Hold on a second here. And you guys should be able to click on this link and it'll bring up a Google Drive that will show the scenario that we are going to be working on today. So before I do that, though, I just want to ask, Tell me something good in the last week. What have you learned from this call over the past few months that you have implemented? Have you gotten on the phone and broke through and got an appointment? Did you pick up the phone for the first time and you haven't been making any calls? Like, tell me what's happened in the last week. I want one brave soul to unmute and tell us what's been good.
I can do it.
Let's go. What's up, Kim? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm successful. Like Tiffany Haddish said. I don't know if y'all saw that video. Never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kim.
Well, I'm so excited that I usually do a lot of the listing side, and I had this buyer, and they only wanted to sign. I had it for 6 months. They only wanted to sign for three, and I'm thinking, your time frame is this, so will we have enough time? Well, long and short, we went out. This is the first time it ever happened to me. We went out and seen 10 homes one day, and we put an offer in. So we already, I did the inspection, we're past that. I thought this one was going to drag out and it was going to expire, but I was so happy.
That's right. I love that. Let me ask you a question though. Since this is a script call, and again, congratulations on getting that
Thank
signed and
you.
getting the offer accepted. If your if your client had said like, listen, I'm not comfortable signing a long term contract, and based on the market we're in, it takes a longer time to help a buyer find a property because there are just so many multiple offers. How do you
Yeah.
overcome that objection of them not wanting to sign a lengthy contract? What would you say?
So actually, when I was walking them through the process and I had 6 months on the agreement, she says, do you mind if we do three? And I says, tell me about that. She goes, well, I don't think that we'll go into three, but I feel more comfortable. And I said, okay. I said, I understand. I says, but do you realize that? And I started to backpedal, like, do you realize that it takes you're doing financing and it takes 45 days to actually even get through the process. So we would have to find something immediately in order to meet that end of year date. So she says, oh, yeah, I'm hoping to find something before the end of the year. So I was kind of walking her through that process about the loan process because
Yes.
then we would have been over.
Makes
And we
sense.
we did it. We found something. You know what, that David, that's the first time that ever happened to me since 2007, since I've been licensed with a buyer. Usually we go out a couple of times, but this was like I was shocked myself.
And well, two things. The power of affirmations and manifesting. Maybe you should start saying, when I meet a buyer, I take them out. We go see 10 houses, and we find one and make an offer that day. Like, speak that into existence.
Exactly.
Um, but let
Well,
me
for
ask
a
you.
while
Go ahead.
they live in Massachusetts, but they're here now. They have an RV, but I've been putting them on a portal. So this was the first time we went out. But I said, listen, let's meet at the office and let's narrow down exactly what you want so I don't waste much time. And we did that. And then I sent them over and she goes, I want to see this one, the first and the last one. It was a choice between, and she took the last one.
Love it. Love it. All right. So I'm gonna wrap you up with this, Kim. I have to say this to you. Teachable moment for you and also everybody on this call. In my push listing mastery class, we're going to start talking about two words that we want to get out of our vocabulary as real estate agents. The word try. Instead of saying try, we're going to start saying the word intend. And instead of saying the word but, we say the word and the reason I brought that up, I don't know if you noticed this. You said to your client, I understand, blah blah blah, but
Right.
right. And so everything you said before the but is negated, and you want to make sure I understand. And here's the situation. So work on, taking that but and that try out of your vocabulary and putting in and my intention, or I intend to. Good job though. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to play a game this morning. If you guys don't have the scenario for today's call, it's in the chat. You can click on the chat. And Kimberly, I'm going to post it in the chat again. If you can just constantly put it in there, because as people join, they're not going to be able to see what was in the chat previously. I want you guys to envision that you're at a listing appointment, right? We're at this listing appointment. You've gone through the opening, you've gone over the comparables, you've talked about price, you've talked about commission. You're sitting belly to belly with the seller, and this is when you actually make your money, because this is when the objections come up. this is when you go to close and they're needing to think it over. And so you have to make a decision. Are you going to show them that you are a true salesperson to close, or are you just going to shake their hand and walk out the door? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the scenarios that we have on this piece of paper. And if you guys, again, don't have it, click on the link in the chat. And we're going to walk through some of the main objections that the seller may have for you. So just to let you guys know, for those of you who are listening, the seller is a single father. His name is Mr. Smith, and he is a widower. Thank you, Larry. I messed that up. And is moving to Georgia to start a new job as a CEO of a tech company. Now, he's currently under contract on a home that's closing December 15th. That's his close date. He needs the funds from this sale to complete the purchase on this new home. Now, this home is in his parents' neighborhood, and he can't afford to miss this opportunity to live where his parents live in Georgia, because they're going to be helping him take care of his daughter. His daughter's name is Sarah. And so Mr. Smith, he accepted this position so his daughter can grow up around family, because she lost her mom to cancer. So he's a single dad, and he really needs the support of his family, especially with this position he's taken. He's traveling, he's busy, long work hours. If he doesn't have that familial support, it's not going to work. So his work schedule is really hectic. However, this new position will allow him to be home more and make more money for his family. So now you know what the sellers, what this person's motivation is to sell their home. They got to go for this new job. They have to be in Georgia, right? They need to be in that neighborhood. And if they lose the sale of this house and they can't be in that neighborhood where his parents are, that complicates his life, because they're going to be the caregivers. We got that? All right. So what we're going to be doing is going through objections, and I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. I'm going to give you a little more time to actually go through this. The seller's going to give you an objection like your commission. We're going to give objections to like the price. And what I want you guys to be able to do is overcome those objections. And the main point of this role play is not just objection handling, it's to get you guys to be empathetic to the seller and what they're going through. And sometimes we feel as salespeople that we're being pushy, like we're just commission breath and we just want you to list your home and sign the paperwork so we can get paid. What I'm hoping to do in this role play today is to get you to reframe everything and come from Zig Ziglar's approach. You guys know Zig, right? My favorite thing that he says, and I live by this: when you help enough people get what they want, you always get what you want. So of course we want the paycheck. I want to get paid, right? So what I need to do is solve this issue for the seller, because when I help them get what they want, which is getting to Georgia in that neighborhood and closing on time, guess what I get? Get my paycheck. So you guys get that, right? So I am going to choose people. However, I want to see if there's one brave soul who's willing to raise their hand and go for it before I start picking on folks. And your cameras need to be on, no exceptions. Cameras on, or my Sandman Kimberly's gonna kick you out. So I have two people. So I have Diego and I have Larry. And I got Tanae and Ronnie. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So Diego, unmute.
I'm muted.
There we go. Good morning, Diego. Good to see you, man.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. So again, you're sitting across from me, and all I want you to do start off is just ask me if I'm ready to sign the paperwork, and I'm going to throw out some objections to you.
Got okay, great, David. So are you ready to sign the paperwork now so I can go ahead and get started working for you?
Diego, the only thing that really is giving me some pause right now is, the price you were telling me. As you know, we just put the septic into the property like 6 months ago. And I know you're telling me 500 is the number. However, I really want to get started at about 550 so that I can recoup the money I put into that septic.
Yeah, look, I totally get it. And look, I understand how you feel right now, David. You want to get the most money for your house, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my intention as well, right? My job is to get you the best offer with the best terms and get you to Georgia in November, by the time of the closing of the house, so we could do this simultaneously. Okay. Now, as I said before, I totally understand how you feel. And I've actually had other sellers that have felt the same. And then later, after we actually executed on the strategy that I suggested, they ended up walking out with more money than they initially thought in their pocket at the end of the sale. Is that something that would work for you?
I mean, can you guarantee that?
You know what, David? I honestly cannot guarantee it because I just interpret the market. I don't make the market. So in order to get you to Georgia by the time that you need, so you could be there with your family and you could go and have this nice life with your daughters. And first of all, my hat off to you because being a single dad cannot be easy. I mean, everybody talks about how strong single mothers are and this and that, but nobody ever talks about the single dads. I'm a dad myself. I have two daughters, and when I'm home with them, just me, myself, and wifey is working, it's a lot. It's a lot, juggling between daughters and school and activities and my
Mhm.
work and my own personal life. So, hat off to you. And, I know this move well, what would it do for you and for your family?
I mean, for me, it's everything. My wife, we thought that she was, on men, and the cancer came back, and she was gone so quickly. And all this was happening with this interview for this job, and I got the job, and I'm excited about it, and I just know that I can't handle this on my own. So I need to be there. I got to be with my in-laws.
Yeah, no, I look, I totally understand. Again, my wife and I were here by ourselves, right? I'm originally from another country, from Colombia, and
Mm.
my mom lives far away. She lives in Illinois, so that's about a 10-hour drive. On my wife's side, we don't have any family here. Her mom unfortunately passed away to cancer as well. So I totally get it, David, and I know how important time is with your kids. And I know this job gives you the opportunity to do that for them, correct?
It does.
Yeah. And David, look, I understand you want to get the most money. I want you to get the most money because this is going to put you in a better financial situation, correct?
Of course. I mean, this is a huge move for me.
Yeah. And David, let's say, we start out, oh, pricing it higher than what I'm recommending right now, and it causes the house not to sell, and you can't close on this house in Georgia by November, and that's gonna,
It's not an
oh,
option, man. I gotta be there. It's not an option.
yeah. So, David, look, the best way to do it, and especially in this market, but honestly in any market, is just pricing it at a good price where, you saw the pyramid, right? The pricing
Right.
pyramid.
Right.
So, do you want 10% of the people to see your house, or do you want 50 or 60 or 70% of them to come see your house?
I want as many people as possible.
Correct. And this is just like an auction, David, how I explained before. Have you ever seen an item at an auction sell for asking price?
No, I mean, the auctions I go to, they always sell well above.
Yeah. So this is exactly like that. Again, I can't guarantee it because sometimes market just, will quickly shift. We don't know, maybe in, something crazy out of the ordinary would happen, tomorrow, right? We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. What we do know is what's happening today.
I
Does
hear
that
that.
make sense?
That does.
So, David, in order for me to help you get to Georgia in November so you can have all that time, that extra time that you want to have with your daughters, that you deserve to have with your daughters in this new position where you're going to financially be in a better place and mentally, and as well as, with your family. In order for us to get you there, we need to be listed at this price point at 500. That way we can attract multiple offers fast and I can get you there by November and not have you miss out on this new opportunity.
I hear that.
All right, David. So let's do this. All you got to do is just sign right here. As soon as I walk out the door, I'm
I was just,
working for.
I was just making sure you was closing. I was like, that's
I
what
know.
I was
I
like,
for,
close it. All right, so let me ask you this, Diego. So I know Diego guys, so I can give him a little bit of tough love here. The saying, I love this music. I'm sorry. Don't say blah 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 when you can say blah. There
Yeah.
was one point where I felt like you could have just closed me. Do you know what that was?
No.
Man, that's a non-negotiable. I got to be there. Like I was telling you, like when you're asking about what happens if it doesn't sell, like you're creating that pain point. I was like, that's not an option. Like I can't have that happen. I feel like right there you could have said, you know what, David, I know this is not the number that you're looking for. I don't make the market. I interpret it, and the market is telling us that if you have to be there and close in order to get that property you're under, this is where you have to be priced. So why don't we go ahead and do the right thing and sign the paperwork and put me to work so I can make sure that you close on that house in time? Okay. Like
Mm.
I felt like if you just stop right there and close, I feel like you would have gotten it because
Yeah,
you hit that pain point for me. I was like, no, man, that's a non-negotiable. You agree
yeah.
with that?
I do. I do.
Okay.
And I
Yep.
know oftentimes that's one of the things that I'm working on getting better at.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. I used to do the same thing. I like you were storytelling though. Like to me, you were connecting with him and you were talking about stories and situations and using the Phil Felt Found script. Love all that. That's why I didn't stop you because I'm like, what he's saying, people need to hear this. We just need to know when we hear those, like, yes, those buying statements from me
Hmm.
saying it's a non-negotiable, I have to be there. That's when you want to stop and say, okay, let me go to the close. Good job, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. Larry, you ready? And Larry, I'm not going to put 5 minutes. I felt like that was a little too long. I'm going to put 3 minutes up on the clock so we can get through more
Great.
people. All right. Because sometimes we also will fill the time allowed, and I just want to make sure we're like getting right into it.
Okay.
Larry, man, listen, I appreciate everything you said. It was great information. Do me a favor, man. I got a lot going on, as you know. Give me until tomorrow. I'll give you a call Saturday before noon to let you know what I decide. I need a minute to really process.
Well, David, I completely understand your decision to want to think it over a little bit. However, my intention here today was to come in and help you and your family get to Georgia as soon as possible. So if you and I agree on the price and we agree on the commission and everything and all the numbers make sense, what would be the reason why you wouldn't sign with me right now?
I mean, you're not the only person I interviewed, as you know. So for me, it's just I'm a thinker. I got to sit down and you know lay everything out and just figure out what's the best option. I like everything you said, Larry. However, I have to tell you, it didn't sound that much different from some of the other agents, and so I really just need to go back through everything we talked about and make sure I'm making the right decision.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate that. What I want to do is, I kind of drill down a little bit on some specifics. Was it the price? Was it the commission? What's causing you hesitation right now? If I left here today and, wished you luck and you met with another agent tomorrow and they said the same thing that I'm saying right now, what would your decision be at that point?
Oh boy, first of all, I'm not meeting with any other agents. I got enough to think about already. But Larry, I guess I would tell you it's the price. I don't like it. I get it, so I understand. The commission piece is it's a tad high for me, and I've had some agents that came in and were offering a lower commission, so that's why I need to look at what are they actually offering me. I want to compare apples to apples.
Okay. So you're not meeting with any other agents. I heard you say that. Right.
Correct.
So
Yep.
again, we're sitting here. We had a conversation. We agreed on a lot of the things. You're a little bit hesitant about the price, and we could discuss that. But I think if taking more time and making a decision on hiring somebody to get you and your family to Georgia as soon as possible, what would that do for you?
I mean, that would be everything. It's kind of a non-negotiable for me. I need to get this sold
Right.
by any means necessary. So yeah.
Yeah. So taking more time with the decision to hire an agent to get your house sold, that wouldn't be a good scenario for you.
I don't really have too much more time. That's why I'm going to make a decision really quickly, Larry. I'll get back with you, man. If you give me until tomorrow at noon, I'll definitely get back with you and let you know what I decide.
All right. So how about this then? You know what? I don't want to pressure you. You're under a lot of pressure as it is right now. I'm going to step out, David, if you don't mind. I'm going to make a couple of calls, okay? And I'll come back here in 10 minutes. If you decide to sign with me tonight, that's great. If not, then we can part ways. No harm, no foul. How's that sound?
I don't know if that's going to give me enough time, but let me, go for it. Just step out and I'll think it over. However, I may have some follow-up questions. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to sign any paperwork.
Okay.
Larry. All right. So can I tell you a teachable moment?
Yeah.
So what was the reason that I didn't want to sign when you drilled down a little bit? What did I tell you?
Well, I brought up the price and I brought up the commission, and you said I wasn't too happy about the price, and the commission's other agents offered lower.
Yeah. I said I didn't like the price, but I understand. But the commission was my issue, right? And then when you were kind of going over and rehashing, you brought up price again. I told you I could deal with that, but you didn't address commission.
Yeah.
That was the thing I told you that was giving me pause. So I would tell you, you should talk about that.
Okay.
And so one thing that I believe is a teachable moment. I didn't see you writing anything down. Were you writing down what I said?
No, I wasn't writing down what you said.
Larry, everybody on this call, write down what they say, because we get so caught up and we're in our heads thinking about how do I overcome that? How do I handle this? I even wrote down commission and circled it, right? Because I know that was the thing, that's that buzz thing that's keeping me from making the decision. And sometimes we get so caught up in the conversation, we forget like what the actual objection is. And so if you write it down, all you got to do is glance, okay, commission is what I need to talk about. The other thing, Larry, that I want everybody on this call to understand, we have to collectively stop asking for permission. How would I do that differently? I would say, Larry, listen, I understand you need to think it over. You know, we've covered the commission again, so I hope you have a better understanding of that. I respect you need to think it over. So what I'm going to do right now, Larry, I got a couple emails and calls to return. I'm going to step out to my car for about 10 to 15. And then when I come back in, we're going to have a decision made, whether you choose to list with me or if I choose to take your listing. Either one is fine. Fair enough? If that's different, then would it be okay? Do you mind if, like, I want you guys to take charge and show them, like, I'm a professional. This is what I do. I'm not leaving this house until you make a decision. Let me step out. And then I'm going to come back in. And Larry, let me just tell you this. Every single time I've done that, and I remember the first time I did it, I was scared shitless. I was like, what did I just do? However, every time I did it and I came back into the house, guess what? We're ready. And they sign the paperwork. Sometimes they just need to process. Sometimes they need to look at their spouse and say, do you like this guy? Yeah, okay, yeah, let's give them a shot. So just give them what they're looking for. Don't ask permission for it. Good job, though, man. Good role play. I appreciate that. I had a quick question. I'm not taking a lot of feedback during this, so we can keep it moving. However, I saw two hands go up late. Matt or Jerome, do either of you have feedback, or are you guys here for the role play? Because I wasn't sure if you wanted to role play or you have feedback. All right. All right. What? Matt, something's going on. I see you're unmuted. I was giving you a second time to get your volume up. Something's up. No. All right. I'll come back to you, man. Something's up. Something's up. All right. So does that make sense, though, Larry? You're in agreement with that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Thank you. Thank you. Tanae, what's up, Tanae? You ready?
Good morning. Ready as I'm going to be. Yep.
All right. So Tanae, listen, your commission here, I can't do it. And you can't use anything Larry said, just so you know. So I can't do the commission. The house that we're buying in my parents' neighborhood is a lot more expensive. And so I need every penny in order to put a higher down payment down to offset the cost. So I know that you're saying your listing side commission is 4%. I met with some agents that are willing to do it at 2.5%. If you're willing to do that, I'll sign the paperwork with you right now.
Okay. So, David, what I'm hearing from you is that your concern is the commission, correct?
Correct.
All right. So when my clients usually ask me about lowering the commission, they're usually concerned with what they're going to net, right? How much they're going to take home, which is clear because you said you need that money, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, you know, I want to explain to you how commissions work, okay? And it really is not determined on me just trying to take all your money because I want to do what's best for you, okay? Do you understand how commissions work?
I'm not sure. I think I do. I'm not sure though.
Do you mind if I explain it to you a little bit?
Please.
Okay, great. So my commission is 4%, right?
Mhm.
With that 4%, 1% is going to go to the buyer's agent because we want to get you a qualified buyer. Okay. We want to get you somebody in here that's going to actually be able to afford the house and buy it. Okay.
Can I pause you real quick? I'm sorry. I hate
Yeah.
to do this. This was just your listing side commission. Like we're not even talking about buyers. We're talking. I want you to talk about you. Like
Me.
this is what I
Okay.
charge to
What's
list.
my value? What's my
Yeah,
value?
exactly. I'm sorry to
Okay.
mess you up there.
No,
but
no, no, no,
that's
no,
what I
no.
want you to.
That's
All right,
perfect. Okay.
let's go.
So can I explain how commissions work?
Yeah, yeah. I need some better understanding. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So my commission is 4%.
Mhm.
Why do I charge 4% versus the other people who've come and given you 2%?
Yeah.
It's because what I'm going to bring to the table. Okay. With that 4% is going to allow me to market your home in several ways. Do you know what some of those ways are?
I mean, I know I looked over your packet, but I mean, you can explain it to me. I like to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So first is marketing, which is traditional marketing, sending flyers, emails, open houses. We have our social media marketing. We have to get your home staged and we have to get your home photographed for photos. So when we list it online, it shows well, right? All of these things cost money and time. I work with Keller Williams Village Square, one of the leading brokerages in Bergen County. We have sold over over $100 million in value of homes in your area. What does that mean? What does that mean to you, right? Like,
Right.
great, you sold a bunch of houses. What that means is we have a plethora of eligible buyers who I can bring to your door who will offer you top dollar. And my record, I usually get homes sold in 10 to 30 days, which means I can get you to Georgia in your window of December 15th. How does that sound?
I mean, it would sound good if you can get me there because that's actually my goal and what I need to do. However, I got these other people who are saying they'll do it for a lot less, and that's a big difference in my. I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot less. They're going to charge you a lot less, and you're probably going to get a lot less. A lot less marketing, a lot less traffic to your door, a lot less eyeballs to your property, which means you're going to spend a lot more time on the market and won't be able to get to your destination of Georgia in a timely manner. Is that what you want? What's more important to you here?
Okay, so I like where you went, and I wish you would have gone there a little bit earlier.
Okay.
I gave you a little extra time because I
Yeah.
interrupted you, so I gave
No,
you
it's
some time.
okay.
The first thing I have to say is I like how you repeated and acknowledge what my objection is. I thought that was really great in the beginning. So again, same kind of feedback I gave Diego. Like sometimes we say blah 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 blah, and all we need to say is blah. If I'm saying, hey, I got somebody who do it at 2.5%, and you're at 4%, and I'm like, I'll give it to you right now. Will you do it at that price point? What's one thing you can say to just end that right now?
No.
Except say it with your chest.
Right.
Oh, any other questions? I don't lower my commission.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
that's where you need to start because half the times all they're doing is seeing if you're willing to negotiate. And if you learn, and this is the hardest thing, if you learn to just say, no, you have any other questions before we sign the paperwork? And then do this. I mean, you don't literally have to do this, but be quiet. Like don't
Right.
start talking.
Right.
That uncomfortable silence, just sit there. And half the time they'll be like, okay. However, if they don't say okay,
Mhm.
I love what you said about, I know these other agents are charging a lot less. You know what you're also going to get? A lot less marketing, a lot less exposure, a lot less this. I love that. I think a great follow-up question would have been, and if you don't have all that exposure and all that marketing, what do you think that means to getting your home sold in a timely fashion and netting you top dollar? How do you think that negatively impacts you? And then sit
Okay.
back and let them answer that question.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
Totally. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Oh, I got Taylor on. What's up, Taylor? Hey, Taylor, I'm gonna give you a call. I'm gonna give you a call too after script practice at 9:30. I meant to
All
send
right.
you a text. Sorry about that.
Yeah, good.
All right. So you ready for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, 3 minutes on the clock, dude. So what do I want to give? Oh, so Taylor, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the information. I've interviewed someone yesterday, you today. I got one more guy tomorrow. Let me see what he says, about the pricing and commission. And after I talk to him tomorrow, I'll be making calls, probably Sunday morning and letting you guys know what I decide. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later on this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, you'll talk to me later on this week. Okay, let me ask you before I leave though. What would you say is holding you back from signing right now?
I mean, I just want to do my due diligence. I've always liked to talk to, 2 or 3 people. So I got this other agent committed to come by, tomorrow for this appointment. So I want to give him an opportunity to see what he has to say.
You want to see what he has to say. I understand that. Do you feel comfortable and confident that I can get your property sold?
Yeah, I like you. I feel like you could do it. I felt the same about the other person I met with too. Um, I did like what you said though. You had a lot of good things that you covered during the presentation.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, David, right now that I'm committed to getting you into that new house with your family by December 15th. So let's do this. Let's sign the paperwork. Let's get the process started so that I can get you there when you need to be with your family.
I mean, like I said, I have this other appointment set up. Let me just meet with this guy and see what he says. And if I make a decision by Sunday, that's not going to lose me a lot of time. So, give me a couple days, finish up that interview, and I'll get back with you.
Okay. And you just want to hear them out to see what they have to offer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
And Taylor, I want you to pause for a quick second. Let me pause the timer because here's what I want you to think about. Rent's due, right? Car notes due, right? You want this listing, and I need to sell, right?
yeah.
You know that if you leave this house, the chances of you getting a call back from me that's going to be positive are pretty slim. So it's like, I'm here and let me shoot my shot because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So do you want this listing? And if so, what are you going to tell me so that I list with you right now versus waiting until tomorrow when I meet with this other guy?
Okay. All right. So, David, let me ask you a question. And let me ask you again, I should say. What's holding you back from signing right now and getting the process started?
Saying, really just the same thing. I want to do my due diligence. I have this appointment already set up. So I figure let me hear this guy out and see what he says.
Do you think? All right, so here's what I'm going to do.
You got it, man. Come on, let's go. You got it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to step out for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I got a couple phone calls and emails to make. I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to come back in, and we're going to decide whether you're going to choose me as your agent or whether I'm going to take your listing, and either is fine.
Okay. All
right, I'm out and back in.
Yeah. So Taylor, I thought it over, and I feel like I owe it to this other agent to give them a shot. So I'm just gonna do that interview, and I'll call you on Sunday, man. I appreciate you though. I do appreciate it. All right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to say, and I understand what you were going through in your head, and I'm just thinking about like as you're talking, I got to stop doing this. I'm thinking about what I would say, right?
Yeah.
This guy, right? What's another couple of days going to cost me? Taylor, man, I'm so happy you brought that up because I understand how you feel. I've had other clients that have felt the same way, and here's what they found out. Sometimes by waiting, you miss out on the opportunity. The buyer who's looking for your house, they're already out there. They've seen all the inventory, right? They're waiting for new properties to pop on the market. I want to get those people. I want the people who are ready, willing, and able, who've been looking, who are desperate to see your house hit the market. And we're going to have it priced so strategically, everybody's going to come running because they're going to see it as a good deal. And what we're going to do is make sure that we get you enough offers, get you the right price and the right terms so that we guarantee that you're in Georgia by December 15th and you'll have the most money in your pocket, right? That's one way. The other thing I was thinking about too is what I would say is, Taylor, sounds like you just feel obligated to meet with this agent because you have an appointment set with them already. And
Right.
I can definitely appreciate that. And yet time is of the essence here, and we got to get this property sold. So here's what I'm willing to do for you. And I've done this for a lot of my other clients. Sign with me tonight so I can get started. And what I will do is call that other agent right from your house and let them know that you already listed with me. That way you don't have to be the bad guy and make that call. Because my concern is sometimes at a weak moment, you can end up with a weak agent. And I don't want you to meet with them tomorrow and they don't care about why you have to be in Georgia. They don't know anything about your situation. And they tell you what you want to hear versus what you need to hear. And then you're still here in December. That's not something that's an option, right? You have to be in Georgia, don't you?
Yep.
So let's do the right thing and let's get this paperwork signed. Let me cancel that other appointment for you and let's get you to Georgia. You willing to sign with me? Like that's where I would take it in that direction, right? I'm speeding through it a little bit because I want to take some time. But see,
Okay.
that's to me like what we're doing right now, this conversation we're having. This is like what we do in Push. We talk through these scenarios so that we know how to touch those pain points. I believe it's so important to dig for motivation because we're either finding out they're running towards pleasure or they're running away from pain. And when I can tap on that, and I also understand that most people keep appointments out of a sense of obligation, even if they're ready to list with you, they're like, well, I did tell this other person, let me just go through it.
Yeah.
That other person comes in, now that other agent can ask, so what commission were they charging? What price point did they recommend? And all that other agent has to do is offer a higher list price and cut the commission a little bit, and they'll steal it from you. You gotta fight for the seller because if they end up with the wrong agent, there's an opportunity where they may not be in Georgia by December 15th, and that's not something you're willing to have happen. And tell them that I'm protecting you. So that's where I would go with it, if that makes sense.
It does. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
No, I mean, I love that you got in here and role played. And here's what I love too. You got stumped a little bit. You didn't allow yourself to give up. And that's how you get stronger, just by pushing through, man. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see more of that on this call today. Thank you, Taylor.
Yep.
Ronnie, what's up, man? Should I give Ronnie a hard
What
time,
is
y'all?
up?
Should I give
I
Ronnie a
know,
hard
yeah.
time?
This is my second call, and I'm in the lion's den.
So here's what I'm going to do. Ashley Davison, are you able to unmute?
Yes.
I got to save my voice a little bit. I've been getting over something going on. So can you be the seller for me for a couple times and also to switch it up a little bit? And I would say if you were on the scale of 0 to 10, 10 being Harriet, like tough level seller, let's be like a 7 or 8. And I want you to, push back on him. I like this whole, I have another appointment tomorrow because you guys are going to get that. And I want to stick with that and see how another person will handle it. So if you can just say, listen, I'm not making the decision, I have another appointment tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Let's role play that out.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. Listen, Ronnie, I have some other agents I'm interviewing tomorrow and this evening. So, I want to give them an opportunity.
I totally appreciate that, and I hope I got through to you and gave you all the reasons why you should hire me with my systems and my models and how to get to the most money and the most offers to get to the best terms and money. That's my goal. Is there anything that I can answer for you or clear up before we do wrap up today?
I did interview another agent before you and they gave me a little bit of a higher price. And they told me I don't have to pay out of buyer's agents and you're coming in with 6% commission and they're coming in with, a lot lower.
I can totally understand. And coming in at a higher price and 0 buyer's commission. I mean, if I can just give you a couple of reasons why I'm not going that route. Again, I want to be able to tell you exactly what you need to hear and what not what you want to hear. So in the, when we start showing your house, would you agree it's better to get one offer or multiple offers?
I mean, whatever is going to get me down south.
Right. I would agree too. So we ultimately want multiple offers. And when you have multiple offers, what do you think happens?
I mean, I'm assuming higher price.
I would assume the same, right? People bid up, you're going to get exactly that price that you want. So there's a good reason why I do charge what I charge, and you know, these other agents that are coming in and promising you a discount are going to do what they do. So and again, on the buyer side, I just want to clear up one thing. The one thing we want is, I know, you know, for you, for Sarah, it's super important that we get to that place in Georgia with your family as soon as possible, hassle free. Offering out zero commission to buyers. What do you think that's going to bring in terms of agents and experience?
I mean, I was told that buyers pay their own agents. So, I mean, I guess that's between them and their agent.
True. But anybody that would represent someone that is going to be putting that in their offer and negotiating their compensation, do you see how that could kind of compromise your position as a seller?
I mean, they can just tack it. I mean, they could just tack on a higher price, right?
They could tack on a higher price, right? Ultimately, it's about what you net and walk away with, right?
Yeah, I need every single penny out of this house. I put a lot
Exactly.
in, I need it all back.
Well, completely understand, and I agree. I think we should control the narrative. I think we put out a buyer side commission. So,
All right,
Jeez.
Ronnie, tell me what you think you could have done better. Just as you're talking, you're probably thinking, I probably shouldn't have said that. Let me say this instead.
I was going, I don't know. I went into like word salad, trying to figure out what I was going to say next. Yeah, I mean that was that.
So Matt just put in the chat what I was going to say to you. More questions, more powerful questions. Right. Not the yes or no questions, but you were asking one, like, how do you feel about the buyers, you know, paying the commission? You did ask a couple of questions. However, you need to get into question mode. One thing I'm going to recommend to you and everybody on this call, as we're doing script practice and you hear people asking powerful questions, start writing that down. You should have a whole list of questions around commission, a whole list of questions around I need to think it over, a whole list around every objection you get. Find questions. And let me tell you this, cheat, use ChatGPT. Give it the scenario and say, give me 10 questions that I should be asking the seller to help me get to the closing. It'll give it to you. Trust me on that. And so I would put together like a booklet, script, objection handlers, questions. And that's going to help you. And the more you practice those questions, then the word salad is not coming out because you're very hyper focused on what you need to ask. So that's going to help you out tremendously. It's asking questions. That's my main feedback from you on here. All right, good deal. Jerome, and then I'm coming to Matt. Is Jerome still here? Yeah, it's Jerome. Coming to you, and I'm going to have Matt be the seller. And Matt, from the scenario, you can give him whatever you want. I'm not going to dictate what the scenario is.
Okay. My mic working now?
It is.
All right, wonderful.
Good to hear you.
All right. Do I sound crisp?
You do.
Okay.
Get that Barry White going on.
Wonderful. Hey,
All
Jerome, right. I appreciate you coming by. I understand everybody's owed what they're due. But I'm in a tough situation, and 5% is a bit too, that's kind of where I need to be for my numbers. You're muted.
No, he's not muted, but I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't hear him.
I hate when that happens, Jerome. Nope.
Hey, I'm the CEO of a tech company. If you need some new hardware, I can send it your way. Just ask for George.
So while Jerome figures that out, let's skip a little bit.
I was next, so if you want to throw me as the agent and then throw someone else.
I'll throw you as the agent, and then 404. Throw your name in the chat so I know who you are. So Matt, you're going to be the agent now, and for your seller, I'm going to throw you. Who do I have on here? That Renee Lord, are you able to unmute?
Yes.
I would like for you to be the seller, give Matt an objection. He's going to have 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay, Matt, I do thank you for coming in. I love everything you presented. I do have another appointment right behind you, and I'll love to hear what they have to say. I'll make the decision by Sunday, and I'll give you guys a call on Monday on who I decide.
Oh, okay. So you are interviewing another agent. Are they
Yes, I have one coming. I do have another agent coming, yes.
okay, wonderful. And just out of curiosity, what exactly are you looking for in an agent?
Communication and to get my property sold.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, from what I was hearing, you needed to get down to Georgia, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So, and time is absolutely of the essence, right? We only have a little bit of time left to get there. So, how would it feel for you if you didn't get the ball rolling and you missed the opportunity to be with your family when you wanted to?
Um, that's something to think about. It probably wouldn't feel good. I just want to, make sure I'm getting the net the most because I really need this to put down for the property.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear out what the other agent has to say.
Mhm.
The first agent was 2.5%.
Yeah.
So, I just want to see what the other agent has to offer. But I
I
definitely will get back to you by Monday.
Sure, sure. I understand completely. Is the commission the only thing that's well, let me just ask you, is commission the only thing stopping us from working together right now?
I just want to make sure I'm gonna, net the most for my property, really. So it's a lot I just want to think about out from hearing from all of you guys.
I got you. I got you. Was there anything that could, is it Renee, right? I'm sorry, I want to get your name right. Renee, I've been doing this a little while, and a lot of times when I have folks who say they need to think about it or they're interviewing other people, and I love that. I think that it's awesome that you do your due diligence. I am not a no pressure type of guy. However, I'm a sense of urgency type of dude. And it feels like to me that this is like an urgent type of scenario. And a lot of times when people say they need some time to think about it, typically that means that they're just lacking some information. So is there any information that you may not have received through our communication today that I could clarify for you or provide to you?
Um, do you think you'll be able to sell this property in 60 days or less?
60 days, girlfriend. We get started right now. I'll have it going in 3 weeks. Market is hot right now. Okay. I've been doing this a long time. I pick and choose who I like to work with. Right. And so even from the moment that I peeped your house out, I've been doing my research and my intel. You checked all my boxes. Now we're here and we're meeting and we're face to face. And I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've built some pretty good rapport together in our time talking. And I understand you have an obligation to another appointment, and I'm happy to, I'm even happy to help you cancel that for you. I'll respect the time. It was coming.
I actually was waiting on that.
Yeah,
That I
yeah.
was actually waiting for.
Yep.
I think for me with that, I would kind of with you asking, you did ask a lot of questions and the right questions, and you did hit on, not has leaving it on the market because I can lose out on money. And I love the fact that you were saying, listen, what questions do you have so I could clarify? Let's go ahead and, put two heads together. Two heads together is better than one. And I'll even cancel the other appointment for you. So you don't even have to worry about making that call. I really like that because that's where I was going with that too.
Yep. And I felt like if he had like another 30 seconds, you would have wrapped it up. So good job, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Anything, Matt, you feel like you would have done differently?
So I'm really harnessing on emotion lately, to be honest with you. Like if I'm saying there, we always want to be working on our craft. I'm really focusing on properly framing the objection out, right? So yeah, we can isolate an objection. Hey, if other than commission, would you be willing to work with me today? To me, that's like, I love the directness, but I feel if I can tweak the vernacular and tug on emotion while asking the same thing, it's really going to get the emotion drives decision, and it's going to really move the needle. So that's what I've been focusing on.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
I like using the words like, actually David, feel, felt, found, right? So feel, felt, found. Hey, you want to make more time? No problem. A lot of people feel that they need more information, not more time. What haven't I provided you today?
Okay. Okay. So thank you guys. So, Jerome, James just got up. James, I was about to come right to you. Where you at? I'm gonna give him a 5 seconds. All right, James, I'll come back to you in a minute. iPhone, I don't know your name. I do know, but it's not on there.
Oh, Violetta.
I know Violetta. Unmute you. Next time, add your name just so we can keep track of who's here. I want you to be the agent, and I love Santiago. Are you available to be a seller?
Yes, I am.
All right. So the pushback for her is let's throw the septic in.
Oh,
right. All right.
Okay, Violeta. Well, I really like what you said. There are a couple of things that make me think that it would be better if I gather with other agents that may present me with something that may better fit my needs. It could be good to know other people and see what they have to hear.
Okay, is there something that I didn't provide on our meeting today? Is it the price? Is it me or is it the commission?
Well, I think I heard everything you had to say. I understand that's what you got, but I'd like to know more about what other agents have to say because there might be something that I'm missing, right? So it's more about me getting to wanting to know more about what everything works at. This is my first time selling a house, so I want to hear what other agents say, and the one that gets me the best thing, that's the one I'm going for.
Okay, I understand completely. And what is the best thing that you are actually expecting from another agent to actually bring on the table for you?
Well, I'm looking to sell this house quick. I gotta move soon, so time is something that is really important for me, but also get the most money I can from this house.
Okay, this is the best time for you to sell your home. The market is moving pretty quick, and by me listing your home, and knowing the days on the market that the home could sell in your area, the homes sell from 10 to 25 days, and by pricing the home at the market price, would be able to sell it quickly and maybe have multiple offers on the table. Is that something that you are looking forward to?
Well, I mean, yes, that's something that I'm really moving towards. Yeah.
I think if you are not clear on the price, I can go over again. I mean, let's suppose you are shopping for a car and one dealership has the car for $50,000. The next one has it for 50,000 again, but that the second car comes with the good rims and a car Apple CarPlay. Which one do you think would be a better value to you?
Well, I think that will be the one that comes with the better things, right? I mean,
Exactly. So first, we need to know if the price is right for your home, and second, the buyers are looking for a better value. Don't you agree?
yes, I guess, yeah.
So do you plan on doing any improvement on your home?
Well, not right now. I don't have the time to do it, so that wouldn't be
Okay.
the case.
So your home is similar to two other homes in your area, and by having those benefits, we can get a little more.
All right. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. No, don't apologize. Listen, you don't have to apologize. You raise your hand to volunteer. You put yourself out there. That's what it is. Is there something you think you could have done a better job at, Violetta?
Yes, I was having trouble understanding the way he was telling me about, the property, the way he was talking about what he was expecting. I didn't hear clearly what that was price, or he was saying that he only wanted to hear other agents, but there was no, clear understanding of his expectations.
So that's again questions. We got to dig and find that information out. And if you don't understand where someone's coming from, that's okay. make sure you understand through asking questions. Have them slow down and explain it to you. Show them that you're really interested in understanding where they're coming from, because when people feel heard, they'll give you an opportunity to allow you to speak. So I would dig in a little bit more and see if you can get him to open up and give you the information you're looking for.
Okay, that was probably my mistake too on my part.
I mean, this is why you're here. This is why you're here.
Yeah.
All right. So I have something I want to say to you guys, and something I want you to think of this weekend. However, I owe James, because this man's had his hand up for a long time. Luckily, it's not your real hand, just the virtual. Your shoulders would be dying. You still got time, James? It looks like you're on the move. I just want to make sure you're able to role play. And
yeah, I'm in a crazy situation, but I can. My girlfriend's in the ICU, but I just stepped off the floor. I can role play in.
Well, first and foremost, man, I'm sorry to hear about your girlfriend in the situation.
Man, she had a terrible accident. I've actually been in here since Sunday morning. She flipped 3. She lost control of it. Just keep us in y'all prayers. Fractured rib, fractured spine, broken rib, fractured spine, fractured neck. Just keep us in your prayers, and I'd be very grateful.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I do need to do something, because I've been in here all day, but I kind of need to sneak off at some point today and just get on the phone. I've been focusing on her, but I still need to feel like I need to try to make a couple of calls today just so I can keep.
I understand that, man. So I was going to give you a break and say, let's pause it. But if you need it, let's wrap up the call with you doing the role play. And I appreciate you, the way you're showing up for your lady. You're there, you're supporting her. I know it's got to be a trying time for all of you guys. And we definitely will keep you in our thoughts and our prayers. And I'm sorry about the situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So from my understanding, I guess I'm at a listing appointment, and I'm trying to get the close for them to sign.
Yep, close for them to sign. And I love for Jerome to be the seller, and he can give you whatever objection he wants. We're going to do this for 3 minutes, and then I have a message, and then we're going to wrap up the call.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure, Jerome, you solid?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, you back. All right. So
yeah,
go ahead and give him the objection, and then we'll get into the role play.
James, I appreciate everything that you've shown me today. And I like what you got going, but I really want to start higher to test the market on the price that you recommended. I want to start higher.
You want to start higher? So
Yes.
let me ask you this. What has you wanting to start higher? Because Jerome, I've sat here and I'm showing you what the sales price versus the original listing price is in our area. And as you can see right now, that's at 98%. So why would you assume to want to go higher? Tell me more about that.
I understand like all of that stuff you're showing me, but I need to make a certain amount of money to get down where we need to get to. So I think we should start there, test out the market. That's the price I want to start with.
So now tell me more about what do we need to actually get there to get you to Georgia?
We need to get the property sold, and I just need to get as much money as I can.
Okay. So you want a bulldog to represent you so you can get as much as you can net, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Now, how soon do we need to get to Georgia, Jerome?
It was supposed to be like maybe 30 days ago, but I could probably wait another 30 days or so.
What if you had the opportunity to get there 30 days, or what if you had the opportunity to get there within the next 30 days, Jerome, and you really would not have to worry about the pressure of listing your house right away?
I'll be open to that.
As you can see, I have my platform here with my 5 options. And I believe one of the 2 of the best options for you would be, we could buy your home in Georgia before you sell, or we could sell your home here in Massachusetts before you list it, and we can get you to Georgia. So with that being said, you let me know, are you really ready to get to Georgia?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So if you're ready, what do you feel would be the best way? Would you like to buy before you sold this home, or would you like to sell this home before you listed it on the market and actually stand the chance of getting paid twice if you sell before you list?
I think we should sell.
You think you would like to sell before you list?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would really like to do is, I have the paperwork right here, and what I want to do is I want to set you up with my partner so they can give you a call and give you some more information on the sale before you list, so we can make sure that this is the right platform for you to net the most. And let's get you to Georgia ASAP. And did you not know that I am from Georgia? Tell me more. Where are you looking to go to in Georgia?
Yeah, I like what you're saying. It's just I want to start at that price. I need to start at that price.
Okay, but do you see what the market is showing us at that price?
Yeah, I can
Do
see
you
that.
want to wait? Do you want to wait 65 days at that price point?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so let's really look at what the market is showing us at the price point. Let's get it at that right price point to where if you don't like to sell before you list and we actually go on the MLS, we can actually stand a chance of getting somebody to come in high. How does that sound?
Okay. That sounds good. I appreciate that.
All
I
right, well
respect you. Thank you.
here's the paperwork. I got the lockbox. Let's sign and let's get to work.
Sure thing.
All right. Are you really ready? Like, go ahead. He was
I
in
like
there.
it,
Like,
man.
I like that, man. I like that too. I like your approach. I like your directness. And listen, are you really ready? Like, you got to get to Georgia. Let's go. And you gave him a lot of different options to choose from. And I wish you had seen the comments, Jerome, because Taylor wants us to really talk about the septic, and I wish we had more time to do it. And here's what I'll say. I want to wrap the call up. Those of y'all who want to stay on for 5 more minutes and do the septic role play, you can. However, I want to be fair and wrap it up like I tell you I will, and I have a quick message for you. If you guys like what you're hearing here, this is what we do in Push. This is what I teach you in Push, how to overcome these objections, how to ask powerful questions, and more importantly, how to close. Because you want to walk away with signed paperwork. We're going there to get the listing. Let's learn how to get the listing. And so my recent Push class has already started. However, I have a wait list. You know, if you're interested in just finding out more information about how you can invest in yourself and make sure that when you're in front of an actual seller, you know how to close. I mean, I just want you guys to think about this. I know so many of you paying Vulcan 7 and Lamb Voice $200-$300 a month, and you haven't made the calls, or you're making the calls and they're not even converting, right? Sometimes you got to take a step back before you can take a step forward. You need to redirect that money into training like a Push program so that when you're getting on the phone, you can learn how to convert. Let's have a conversation about that. I'm going to take a page out of James' book. Are you ready to make some money? Anyhow, if you're interested, I'm no pressure. Just put it in the chat and we can talk. Here's what I want to say really quickly. I want to do something here, and I need full participation. Lenore, Alkin, if you guys can turn your cameras on. Everybody on Instagram, I want you to pay attention really quickly. You guys understand that in order to be successful in real estate, you know, it's not an easy career. It's simple, it's not easy. And you really got to put the work in. You got to show up every single day. And the difference that I recognized when I left corporate America and became an entrepreneur in real estate is that I was working harder for the man than I was for myself. When I was working in corporate, I was 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Got into real estate, and I'm going to be real with y'all. I was working like 10 hours a week, acting like I was doing something. And I wasn't in the beginning, because I felt like I'm an entrepreneur. I can make my own schedule. I can do you got to work harder. But this is for you. This is how you change your financial legacy, the generational curses around money, by putting in the work. And if you have a why that's strong enough, and I know so many of you have a why, and you are not allowing yourself to have the type of success you can have in this business because you're not showing up. Even me as a coach, I recognize, and I even said it this week, I recognize that I've been playing the small. Enough of that for me. I ain't playing the small anymore, right? So for everybody in here who's tired of playing the small, and I hope that's everybody on here, and you guys are ready to actually get into action to make some money, do me a favor and raise your hand. Not your virtual hand, your real hand. Yeah? All right, thank you. Keep it raised, right? Now, you're really serious about it, though. Raise your hand. The question I want to leave you with is, why didn't you give it 100% the first time? Why the first time was it alligator arms, but the second time is this? Is that how you're showing up in real estate, where you're just giving it a half-ass effort, or are you going all in? Simon says you can put your hands down. I need you guys to go all in for you. Stop sitting on the sidelines and playing it safe. I hope that by being on this call, it shows you that success in real estate is just a matter of being highly scripted. Everything we do is scripted, from making the calls to doing the follow-up, to how we handle a listing, to how we get that listing sold, to how we put that person in our database, to how we follow up with that person in our database. It's all a script. That's real estate. So whether you like scripts or not, get over it, because that's what it is. What I will tell you is maybe take the word script out of your vocabulary and say, I'm on these calls to learn the dialogue I need to have with my clients in order to have success. And what I want to see next week, number one, I like to see this number double, because my assignment is for each of you to bring one person back to this call with you so we can get more interaction. Number two, I want to see less people on Instagram and more people on Zoom so that you can learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. All right? Y'all ready for that? All right. Because that's my only fee that I'm charging. I don't charge for this call. If you guys know how much I charge per hour, let me just tell you, I do this for free because I remember what it's like not having somebody to help me and push me and support me and train me and guide me and encourage me. All I'm asking, the fee that I'm asking, is that you guys show up. No freaking alligator arms. I want you to show up, and I want you to be on this call next week ready to go. And the way you're ready to go for this call is by doing your job during the week. Your job is to lead generate and prospect and make phone calls. And if you're doing that every week, you're getting tough questions from sellers. You're getting tough objections from sellers. You need to write that down and bring that to class for homework and say, David, let me tell you about a situation. This is what happened. This is what they said. This is how I responded. I didn't get it. What should I have said? Let's play. Let's do this. Y'all ready? Man. Unmute for me a second, because I'm not feeling the energy. I need to feel some damn energy.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So
I'm
my
ready.
favorite affirmation, if y'all can indulge me in this, because I know I know it can be fear a lot of times, right? My affirmation on my wrist, I live by it every day. The affirmation is, I want it more than I fear it. So on the count of three, I want y'all to say that with me, and then we're going to end the call, except for Taylor and other people who want to hear this role play. Count of three, I want you to say, I want it more than I fear it. And yet I want you to say it, you know how Kevin Hart says, say it with your chest. I want you to say it with your chest. Don't whisper. Say it like you mean it. Count of three. 1, 2, 3.
I want it
more than I fear it.
Here.
Yeah. Y'all work on that for me. Y'all work on that for me this weekend. Look in the mirror, say it 10 times a day out loud, and say it with your chest. Listen,
Yes.
I love you guys. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come here every Friday and pour into you. Just know that I do this because I want to see you win, and I want to hear about your wins. The compensation from this call for me is you calling me saying, David, guess what? I picked up the phone for the first time. David, I got my first listing. David, I negotiated the commission that I didn't think I could. Can you loop me in? Like, that's all I'm asking. That gives me so much fuel to keep coming back every week when I see y'all winning. So I need to see the wins. Tag me in your posts. Let me know it's working and that you're having opportunities because you're on this call and you're learning. So I appreciate you guys. I'm saying the call's officially over, and yet I'm going to stay for 5 more minutes and talk to Taylor about this objection, because he kept putting it in the chat. And I didn't, we're not ignoring you. I want you to know that I saw that. So I just want to cover it as we wrap up. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer, and I want someone that feels like they can really handle this objection. This is, I want more money because I just put a septic in. I want to recoup that money. Susan was the first person to throw it up. What's up, Miss Susan? So Taylor, because I feel like maybe you've gotten this, or you're concerned that you're going to get this objection, would you like to be the seller and give that objection to Susan?
Yeah, let's run it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna give 3 minutes and give it the way you think you're going to get it from a seller, or how you've gotten it from a seller before. Same situation with Susan. Let's go.
Okay, real quick. Everybody, if you can, just mute. I know we all unmuted, so we mute for this, and then I'm ready.
Thank you for that, man. I forgot about that. All right, let's go.
Okay. All right, so Susan, I really want to start at a higher price because I just put in this $30,000 septic system, and like I gotta recoup some of that money when I go to Georgia. So I'm thinking let's start $30,000 higher.
We can start $30,000 higher. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get $30,000 back. understand that you can't sell a house and you can't close on a house if the septic system isn't working. And thankfully, you did put a new septic in, so that is a selling point, but it does not add $30,000 onto the market value of the house.
Okay, so how much does it add?
You have a working septic and true market value. If you had, let me back up a little bit. If you had someone come and make an offer on your house before you put the septic in, and the septic system failed, and you had that price on the MLS with your agent, myself, if the septic system fails, you will be responsible for replacing it anyway, and no additional cost to the buyer.
I mean, I heard that buyers and sellers can split the costs of stuff.
Most people who are buying homes with septic systems, okay, expect that it's under environmental. They're doing home inspections, environmental, pest control, mechanics, and structural. Those are the only things that you have to be worried about when selling your home. Okay, when you fill out a seller's disclosure, you have to say, yes, the septic system is old or the septic system is brand new. These are the things that you have to be concerned about. When I take a listing, I usually tell a homeowner, do a mini home inspection so that you can know what's going on. The price of the septic is not included.
Susan, I get all that. Susan, I get all that. But the only thing that's important to me is netting the most amount of money possible.
Right,
So I want to start $30,000 higher so I can recoup some of the money that I put into that septic system. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I understand that. And some septic systems go for $40,000, $50,000, depending upon the size of the system. So what I'll say to you is, look at the facts that I've presented you with all the homes that have septic systems in them and what they sold for. Your whole entire area is all septic systems. All right. Look at the ones that sold under asking price. I'm just selling another house right now, and the seller had to replace the septic at no additional cost to the buyer. So I've been doing this a long time. Septic systems are really tricky. And you can't get a certificate of occupancy without it. So you've already done the work. Putting that $30,000 on, what is that going to net you at the very end? Is that going to make a difference to you?
Well, I'm sorry, say it again.
I said that additional money that you're tacking on, is that going to bring you more buyers, or is it going to stop buyers from coming to see your house because it's overpriced by $30,000? Look, man, I'll have a bank appraiser come in and appraise your house and pay for it.
All right, time. I stopped the timer. It's 3 minutes. Thank you, Susan. I got to jump in here and just say this. Taylor, can I be direct with you really quickly?
Yeah.
All right. So for me to do that, I need you to take your seller hat off for a second and put on your buyer hat. So we're looking for houses in Georgia. I understand you have to be there, and I know why you have to be there. We're in the neighborhood where your parents live, and there are two houses on the market, right? One priced at $500, one priced at $530. And we go see them both, and they're identical. They're all built by the same builder. The only difference is the house sits at $530. The owner just put in the new septic, right? And he wants to recoup the money. The other house at $500 has a perfectly fine working septic tank. Which house are you going to buy?
The one that has a perfectly good for $5.
Why? Why wouldn't you pay the seller $530 for a new septic?
Because it's not worth it.
There you go.
Yeah. And so, Taylor, so I have to say this, and again, this is me being direct. Even you wouldn't buy it, and yet you expect somebody to buy yours. Right. Having a septic is a selling standard. People expect to have it. So that's the reason I'm going to recommend we price it at $5, because just like you wouldn't pay $530, no other buyer would either. And if we price it higher, do you know what we're going to end up doing? We're going to help our competition sell, because they're going to come look at your house and then look at the competition and say exactly what you said. I'm not paying $530 when I can get it for $5. Does that make sense?
It makes 100% sense. I was touching on what Matt was touching on, is like the emotion side of it. Like, hey, you need to be in Georgia, right? You need to be with your family. If you price it over, like touching on that, as opposed to like, I'm giving you information of like why you should do it this way, as opposed to like, even somebody said it in the comments, like questions like, hey, when do you need to be there? Do you think this is going to keep you from being there, being overpriced like that? And then touching on that seller standard, like 100%.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, and trust me, I would have gone to motivation because I would then talk about days on market and how homes that are overpriced sit there. And when homes are sitting there, the perception of the buyers is that something's wrong. And if they think something's wrong, are they ever going to pay top dollar for the property? I'm going into all that. And if it's sitting there, Taylor, and the home doesn't sell, that means you aren't closing December 15th. Let me ask you again, is that an option for you to not close, or do you have to be in that house where your kids' grandparents are?
I have to be there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
That's not overpriced the house.
Yeah. So have you ever had to make a decision like, let me stop because we can go for another half an hour. You get the point though, through asking, we need to be asking more questions, right?
Yeah. That's where all I was coming from.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let me ask you guys something before we get out of here. I decided to try and do something different today. Did it hit? Did you guys like the way this went today? More of this, different scenarios?
I liked it because I like the fact that you gave us the information ahead of time. I feel like sometimes we go off the cuff, which is fine, but having that backstory helped prepare for me anyway.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, that because I wanted you guys to almost feel like you had already pre-qualified, so you knew everything, and so that everybody was on the same page, so we were getting the same, motivation. So today I'll do that more, and thank you for the feedback. Jerome, I'll let you get the final word on feedback, and we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how you mixed up and got people involved, because a lot of people hesitate to be the seller, but to be the agent. But when you start to be the seller, it's about action and like just moving, getting some movement going. So I think you getting involved and doing all that stuff was great. And I also appreciate how you became Coach David today. That was like phenomenal. Like we needed that. You could see the room moving and getting motivated, and the energy was moving. So excellent call today. It's one of the best ones I've been involved in. Thank
you, man. I put on my Superman cape. I put on my push hat. When I put on my push hat, that's like me becoming Eminem, or Beyonce becoming Sasha Fierce. Let's go. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I got some work to do to work on my book and some other stuff I'm doing. So I got to get to work. You guys go have a good day. Go make some phone calls. Yeah. You already know how the business. If you make the call and it doesn't go great, guess what? You learn. Stop playing it safe.
Thank you.
Go get it.
Thanks,
Bye, Dave.
Thank you. Have a good
Love
day.
you guys. Thank you for spending your Friday morning with me. Y'all be good.
Thank you.
All right, Taylor.